sir. They got water. From me, about that. Huh?
Mike, you good back there? All right,
Thirsty
questions
as
for
shit.
Max and Trey?
Trey, on both of your touchdowns, a lot of determination to get into the end zone, breaking tackles, that sort of thing. Can you just kind of walk us through those plays and what your mindset was?
I feel like my mindset always, whenever I get the ball, is just be violent with the ball, and always get to the end zone by any means necessary. So, whenever I catch the ball, I'm locked into the end zone, trying to find my way through contact, through physicality, or agility. Find some type of way to get into the end zone. 'Cause that's the most important thing.
Trey, can you talk about just the week of practice and how you and the receivers and Noah, how you guys kind of came together after what we saw last week against Iowa State?
I think the week of practice for us, as receivers, we were just all hungry. Like every single one of us, it wasn't just me who made plays. Luke Wysong, Gio Richardson, Chris Hunter, all these guys out there, Chris Hudson, every single one of us was out there hungry, ready to make plays. And, just losing leaves a bad taste in anyone's mouth. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we got great leaders. Our leadership council did a great job at just continuing to harp on responding and just, being ready for the moment, not getting too high or too low.
And speaking of Wysong, he stepped in for Patterson at punt return. Can you just talk about just his versatility and just his willingness to do a lot of those things on special teams?
Oh, man, dude, Wysong's a dog, and you see it every single day in practice, laying out, punt return, any type of deal. You look at him even from last year, we all know what type of talent he has, so he had the opportunity to go back there and return punts, and you see what happens, he makes plays. And I think that across the board, our receivers, especially Luke, they're just hungry. Like, I love that about our receiver group is we're hungry. We want to make plays.
So, Trey, having this game in Arizona, kind of your breakout game this season, what does it mean to you to do this in Tucson?
I'm sorry?
What does it mean for you to do this in Tucson in the state of Arizona?
It's huge. I take a lot of pride in being from Arizona, like genuine pride. I love bringing it up. Even back in my old school, I always talk about Arizona. Just, I love the state. So coming back here and being able to make plays and, have a game like this just makes me hungry to keep putting on for the city. It's huge for me.
Just your thoughts on Noah being able to bounce back after the fumble at the goal line there and still finish the game.
Oh man, everybody knows. Noah's a dog and he's extremely focused and he's hard on himself. He's hard on himself more than anybody, more than any critic, more than any fan. So that was tough for him. But he's also one of the most, when it comes to mentality, being locked in, he's big on that. He's super tedious about his process and he trusts himself. He trusts the team. And we all trust him. So we knew he was going to bounce back and help us put some points on the board.
Max, how much did it help all the practice you guys had during the summer and leading up to this outdoors during the day to play in the sun?
I mean, yeah, it helped a lot. We have an indoor facility, but we still practice outside most of the time in practice. Coach G's whole thing, especially like for the defense, but as a team, it's not just it's not just embracing the heat. It's not just dealing with the heat. We love the heat. So, Coach G always talks about it like, I wish it was hotter. We wish it was hotter because today I didn't really feel anything crazy. So, it helped a lot.
Max, after giving up nearly 400 yards of offense and 39 points last week, defense just ratcheted it down, less than 150 yards for Oklahoma State, kept them out of the end zone. Just what was that message like, kind of the preparation this week to do that?
The biggest thing, especially like I talked to the team about it, is that between the whistles, it's the most important play of the game. And then after the whistle, it's done. So as a defense, we just want to focus and play by play, making sure that we're locked in every single play, keeping our eyes disciplined. We knew that we're going to come out with a lot of trick plays and things like that, and just staying detailed and doubling down on our process.
For you, forcing the fumble that Trey Smith recovered, just what you were seeing on that play, the preparation that you've done to continue making plays like that?
I mean, we watch a ball tape before every game, just focusing on getting the ball out, tucking the ball, ball security, things like that. So, I mean, my process and my thoughts like during this game, I was like, I gotta get the ball out. I gotta get the ball out. So running back came through. I saw ball, put my helmet on the ball, and just, gave him all pretty much.
So Max, we heard a lot about just the different linebackers and variety you guys have. Maybe we didn't think that we'd see all you guys out there playing on the field together. When did that start happening, and what does that element, I guess, bring to the defense?
I believe that started happening like week 3, where we started putting like all these linebacker packages, things like that. But when you can play, when all the linebackers can play, we gotta find a way to get them on the field. And so, like having all the things, like the versatility that we got in the room, I think it just makes us better as a defense, and I'm glad we got it.
You've got a well-traveled journey in college football. Have you been a part of a defense that throws out so many different looks? And what do you think just about the creativity of Danny?
Yeah, I mean, I've been around a bunch of different defenses and philosophies, and I think Coach G is definitely probably the most unique that I've had, and he's very experienced. He's done his thing at previous schools, so I just trusted him. Once I saw what he had to offer when I was in the portal and come in here, and he told me a little bit about his defense and philosophy, I mean, it was a great thing for me.
Max, you're now a part of a defense that is the only defense in the nation that has not allowed a passing touchdown. Were you aware of that, and how much pride do you take in that?
I mean, I wasn't aware of that specifically. I think I knew that we were pretty high on like passing defense, but I'm not too surprised. I have so much faith in our secondary, Dawn, Jen, Stooks, AG, everybody. Like, I'm not too surprised with it, and I'm glad that every game they're focused on it. Big plays may happen, but the main thing is keeping them out of the end zone. And so I'm glad that our secondary can do that. Take a lot of pride in that.
One for Max and then one for both. This is the third game this year in which the defense has not allowed a touchdown. What do you make of any kind? What do you make of that accomplishment and just how the defense is playing overall?
It goes back to our mantra, keeping them out of the end zone is the very last line. So keeping them out of the end zone is the most important thing. I take a lot of pride in that. It's everybody know what to do and how to do it. All 11 to the ball in a bad humor and keeping them out of the end zone. So just every day we say that before our meeting, and every day we practice that, and every game we try to execute that.
Neither of you guys were here last year, but the team went 4-8. You guys have 4 wins at this point, matching that total. What do you think of just kind of where the team is at as you head into a really big game against BYU?
I think I say last year is last year, and heading towards BYU, it's like faceless opponent. We're just the next opponent is on the schedule, whoever it is, and we're just gonna play and give it our 100% every time.
Yeah, 100%. I talked about earlier response, and one of the biggest things about responding is being able to respond after a good game. Not getting too high up. So I think that we just got to stay level-headed and hungry, and continue to attack each and every day of practice. We got a lot of dogs. We got a lot of guys that just want to go out there and play. So you just got to take the coaching, and the rest of God is there.
2 last questions, Troy.
Max, just your thoughts on Cole being able to have a bounce-back game after not being able to play last game against Iowa State, his performance with the interception at the beginning of the second half.
Like I said, I practice with J. Cole. You said Javion Cole? Yeah, practice with him every day, and I'm glad that he got his interceptions. I've seen him do it in practice, and I'm just glad it converted to the game finally. You know what I'm saying?
Last one, Chris.
Just your guys' thoughts on the sandstorm unis and the cactus helmets. I think every week that can unveil a new uniform is exciting, but particularly these and the cactus logo, right? Something that's very special to the community of Tucson.
I love it. They pulled me for the jersey reveal a couple of weeks ago, and I saw the uniforms. I was like, oh, yeah, those are hard. So seeing them and getting to wear them today, it's kind of like it's a sandstorm in Arizona. So
Yeah, they're fire. It's funny because I was talking with a couple of teammates like literally a few weeks ago. I was like, bro, if we had some like white uniforms with red numbers,
you did say that.
I was like, bro, that would be so fire, or with red numbers. So when we popped out with him this week, and it was funny how Coach Brennan introduced him. He came fully suited, and he looked like his son Scotty, and we all thought it was Scotty. It was hilarious. And But, you know, it's awesome, and it pays homage to Tucson. So it's always great to put on for the city. No, we don't. We were in a meeting. Surprises.
All right, thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
defense. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Brennan, and then we'll take questions. Please limit them to one question at a time when I call on you. Thank you. Coach?
That started us off on a rough note right there. All right, good to see everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. You know, as I continue to say, we measure everything by our standard red line. And all week we talked about being accountable for last week's game. And when I think about today, you know, or excuse me, when I think about this week and how we practice and how we attack the work, you know, that part of the accountability, player, coach, all of us, everybody was all in on how we were going to get that done this weekend against a really, you know, unique opponent. You know, I think today what you saw that red line show up because our effort was 100-100. You saw us be really, really aggressive that way and play really hard. You know, the execution showed up. You know, we converted in the red zone, which was excellent. And, you know, then our defense held them to 158 yards of total offense, which is just fantastic. And then also the 4 turnovers on top of that, right? The 2 takeaways and then the 2 turnovers on downs. And so there was a lot of really, really good stuff in that game. It's a Big 12 win, and I'm proud of how we came to work this week and how we battled through that thing and closed the door on it there at the end. You know, I think when I think of our team, I'm just proud of these guys. I'm proud of our coaches and players, how they continue to work, how they continue to play for each other, how they play for the community, and how they play for this university. So I'm ready for your questions now.
Thank you, Coach. We'll start with Justin and then Troy.
So obviously it was a really big game for Trey Spivey. What did you make of how he was able to get going? And what did you just think about just the receivers collectively? Because I think 4 different guys caught touchdowns.
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, I think that's one of those things is that when we trust the scheme and we do what we're supposed to do and we do it red line, we get good results. And so it's great to have that validation because that's obviously something that we've been preaching as a coaching staff. You know, when we're off the mark, you know, like we were at times last week or when we've been at times during wins, other games of the season. Right, and so I was just, you know, I thought Noah threw the ball well, and it was great to see those receivers finish the way they did.
Troy and then Michael.
Continuing on Noah, just his performance today and being able to bounce back from the Iowa State game and put on the show that he did.
I thought it was awesome. You know, I think, you know, being a Division I quarterback on this level is hard. It's really challenging, and you get way too much credit and you get way too much blame. And Noah Fafita handles it with incredible class, with incredible dignity. He's a great leader. He's a great teammate. He loves Tucson. He loves the University of Arizona. My post-game press conference, you know, I told them, you know, like everyone in the world has tried to recruit him away from here. They'd offer him money and all kinds of stuff. And he's chosen to stay because he loves it here. And he's going to leave his mark on this program. And I thought today was a good step in that direction.
Michael and then Brian.
The defense has not allowed a touchdown pass this season 3 different times.
Are you trying to jinx us?
I am not, but I've been known to do that in the past. Not intentionally, but 3 times haven't allowed a touchdown at all. What are they doing well? Like what is impressing you about it?
I think it starts with red line. I think it starts with how hard we play. You know what I mean? I think that is a huge thing that I think it's cliche, and lots of coaches say that, but I think when you turn on the tape, it looks that way. It looks violent. It looks physical. It looks like people running the football, and I think that part of it can't be overstated. You know what I mean? But I also think that they're doing a good job of settling in. I think Coach Gonzalez has done a great job, and that staff of giving those players clear understanding of what their job description is, and then helping them understand, okay, now you know what to do, and then here is the red line you're going to attach to that. This is the effort you're going to attach to it. This is the violence you're going to attach to that job description.
Brian and then Jason Barr.
First 5 plays, you guys were running the ball real effective, but then some offensive linemen started going out and shuffling. How much did that affect, like, just the overall performance of the run game?
Well, I think that's part of it. I also think when they're putting 8.5 people in the box and you're going to be outnumbered running the ball, it's going to be hard. And so that's why you saw, which is great. Like, that's something we talk about all the time. Like, take what they give you, right? And so if they're going to play us with no safety or, you know, they're going to, you know, play a bunch of man coverage, and we feel great about our receivers and we feel great about our quarterback and his ability to deliver the football accurately, then we'll live with that.
Jason Barr and then Justin.
My question was asked. Thank you.
All right.
How about that? Wow.
Troy.
So we saw Luke Wysong take some punt returns today, replacing Jeremiah Patterson. What did you think about his punt returning and also him getting going with that touchdown?
I thought it was great. I thought it was great. I think Luke Weissong is one of those players that is just going to continue to make plays and impress people as he continues to get more comfortable in the scheme and make plays and play more. And we're all excited about Luke. He's an awesome young man. He's a fantastic team guy, and he's just a baller. I know he's going to be upset because he muffed that field or that punt, but he ran up on that thing and tried to preserve those yards, and those things can be hard because you're running up into the wash and you got to take but he did a great job of getting on the ball, right? That's the other part of it, is that he still finished the play. That's a good example of red line. He didn't just muff it and lay on the ground and be like, oh, feel sorry for himself because he didn't catch it clean. He finished it, which is awesome.
Your thoughts of losing a few linemen, but being able to have that depth that you didn't have last year, to have guys out there that can play in a Division I football game?
No, I think I told you guys this at the beginning of spring ball, and I think I told you this at the beginning of training camp. You can't ever have enough offensive and defensive linemen. You can't. You know what I mean? So I thought the guys stepped in there and did an admirable job, and I think the guys that got beat up today, we need them back. So they need to live in the training room. So we get them a couple of rollout beds, and we'll get them in there, and they're going to live in there full time because we need them back.
John, and then Mike.
You had 205 yards after the catch. What does that say about your receivers and running backs?
I think that's exciting, right? I think that's really exciting because those big plays like that, when you can break tackles, and the great thing is that, we hadn't seen that kind of show up yet quite in that way this year. So we're really excited about that. There's a certain physicality, there's a certain mindset that comes with playing with the football in your hands after you catch it. And so to see it show up today in a positive way was good.
Michael and Brian.
In both the K-State game and this game, you guys went into the locker room with a big lead, and there was kind of a lull a little bit in the third quarter. Maybe the execution wasn't there. Did you sense that at all? That maybe there was maybe a little bit of relaxation or letting your foot off the gas a little bit?
Actually, I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's not something that we're not aware of. It's something we need to fix this. This is a crisis. You know what I mean? Because I think we punted on the next 3 possessions coming out of halftime. And the defense was fantastic on those 3 stops there. So that's obviously something we'll get to work on, and we'll get to work on it fast.
Brian and then Jenna.
One of the players let it slip that you came out in full uniform to introduce the Sandstorms.
That's true.
Yeah. Is that something have you ever done that before in a uniform?
I did it once before. But
just something like a camaraderie thing that you're...
So I'll tell you this. I think these young men that are playing college football here at the U of A, everywhere in college football, they care so much. They put in so much. And I think sometimes because it can be a pressure life they live on this level, football has to be fun. And so how do we find ways to make it fun? And one of the funniest ways or easiest ways to make it fun is to make fun of the head coach looking like a jerk in a college football uniform. It was the funny part was that they weren't sure who it was because there was a visor, so they couldn't really see my face. And I was wearing Scotty's jersey, and so we're built similarly. Scotty's much better looking, but we're built similarly. And so so when I took the helmet off, the players were shocked because they thought it was him. So it was fun. It was a fun moment. I was really excited about those uniforms. We haven't talked about them very much, but I think that's something fun for the players. I think, I am a traditional football guy, and I do love our traditional uniforms. We're blessed with the best colors in all of college sports. We're blessed with the best colors in all of college sports. But a little variety is fun, and it's fun for the players, and it's great for recruiting. And so it was awesome that, Sean Kennelly, our equipment guy, and the people at Nike, and everybody, Desiree helped us, she had to approve it. So there was a lot of really good stuff, but I think it's fun for us to have a change up. And I think it's fun to have a little variation in our uniform, when we play every now and then.
Jenna and then Chris.
Arizona's 4-1 for the first time since 2019. You've already matched, the win total from last year. How do you just feel about the momentum of the program going into BYU next week?
I feel like this was a huge game for us. I feel like we were playing an opponent that was going through a really complicated situation and not knowing exactly what you're going to get from them schematically, who's playing, who's not. Like there's a bunch of those rumors flying around all week. And I thought our players did a great job of winning the game. When we showed up here today, our goal was to win the game, right? And so anytime you can get a win in conference, it builds momentum. And we need that. We know that we're playing a team that is established, that has been excellent for a long time. With BYU this week, they're ranked, they're 23 this week. I'm sure they'll be ranked higher because they won big last night. I have an incredible amount of respect for Kalani Sitake and that coaching staff. So we know these guys really well, and they have a great program. And so anytime you have a chance to play a great program, coming off a win, let's go. It's going to be a big-time football game. And I'm excited to see the city of Tucson show out. I know it's Parents Weekend. It's going to be awesome. We're looking for Arizona Stadium to be the #1 game day venue in college football in the whole country next Saturday.
Chris and then Justin.
You guys did a good job staying ahead of the chains this week, 28 first downs. And then when you guys were in third and fourth down situations, we're seeing an improvement there week over week, 6 out of 13 on combined third and fourth downs. Just what the emphasis, what the work has been like in practice this week to continue reinforcing that.
I think Coach Dagy's done a great job with that. I think there's a process it's not just what you think will work against your opponent. It's also what can your team execute at a high level when you're trying to put those ideas together. But the offensive staff, works incredibly hard at putting together those game plans. And then our players did a good job of executing them. And I think that's one of those things. I know coming out of last week, we were really frustrated with our execution on third down. And I thought it was better tonight or today. And I think that's one of those things that it's hard because everybody's trying to be good on third down on both sides of the ball, right? And so at the end of the day, whatever we call, the players have to make it work. And I thought they did a good job of that today.
Justin and then Cohen.
So Michael Salgado-Medina missed that field goal early on, but then made that really long one later on. What do you make of just kind of where he's at right now and just that whole operation?
I love it. That's why I put him back out there. And that field goal was an extra 15 yards longer than the first one he missed. And I said, let's go, Mike. Money Mike, we got you. Go out there and rip it. And he did. That thing was good from 65. It hit the middle of the Allstate sign. Like, we got faith in that kid. You know what I mean? And it's hard because anytime you're going through a struggle like that, right, it's frustrating and you got to deal with it, right? But to his credit, talk about responding. And we've been talking about responding this whole season. The next kick, he goes out there and hits a 58-yarder. Let's go.
The last two will be Cohen and Michael.
On the scramble drill play that Fafita had to Luke Weissong, just you're in the sidelines reaction as that play is unfolding, as Noah's kind of running around making plays with his feet, and then also kind of the execution that went into it, like the offensive line, no penalties in a situation like that, and then even I think it was Gio Richardson downfield to spring Weissong free.
Yeah, I think that's that's kind of red line. That's in the red line category, right? Competing, playing your tail off until the whistle. And that's what that was, right? Like Noah's running around all over the place. Linemen are running, continuing to block, right? Luke Weissong is running scramble drill coming all the way across the field. Noah finds him, delivers an accurate ball. That's execution, right? And then if it was Gio, I'm not sure if it was, but I'm trying to remember. If it was Gio, what a great job. Like we call that closing out. And so instead of standing there and watching Luke get tackled, right, he immediately took his eyes to the next dangerous defender, and Luke was able to get out and score. So I thought that was a great play and really, really exciting.
We'll finish up with Michael.
The cornerbacks had a rough game at Iowa State, really bounced back in a big way today. A bunch of pass breakups, sticky coverage, interception, etc. What did you think of the way that group responded?
It's interesting because at Iowa State, those 3 plays, they were there. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they got smoked. I mean, they were there. The receiver made a great play. And sometimes that happens. When it's one-on-one, you could say that about Trey Spivey today, right? Like that ball he caught, like the guy could have tackled him right there, but Trey made a great play and got out and housed it. Or on the slant, the guy ripped his helmet off, but he still scored, right? So sometimes that comes down to that. I have a lot of faith in that cornerback room. How competitive Michael Dansby is, Javian Cole, Aiden Garnes, like that group is, MGK, like that's. You guys have heard me talk a lot about competition in the practice environment. You have to have depth and you have to have competition because it forces the level to raise every single day because there's pressure in the practice environment. And the hope is that that pressure in the practice environment transfers to performance on game day.
Thank you, everybody.
Bear down.